Hey, everybody, this is Paul Finkelstein on the OMG Small Business Podcast, Entrepreneurs and Workaholic Professionals. If you don't know about Skyler.network, you might want to, especially if you don't have thousands and thousands of dollars to invent and buy your own Facebook and LinkedIn and Alignable, and you could actually have your own network for your own business. Hey, why would you want to do that, Mary? And hey, welcome, Mary. Welcome, Mary Stanley out of Minnesota, I believe.
It
Tell us.
is, and once you hear me talk, you will know where I'm from.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. You could tell where people are from as soon as they start speaking the first couple of words, especially those Canadians, I think.
You
Um,
know it.
I think it drives through Canada. You told me from Minnesota, but so Mary, just so people know a little bit, a snippet of what you do in the world. Tell me that like question that you asked in our networking meeting this morning that really hits home about how you solve problems for your customers.
So the big thing that I solve is you have a child who has meltdowns, or you have a child that gets fixated, or you have a child that struggles with socialization skills. It's all about how to understand your child and how your brain operates. And that's what I do. I teach you to understand your brain, how your child's brain's wired, or an adult, especially in the neurodiverse world, how to accept them for who they are and have them overcome the issues so that you can meet them in the middle and still let them be a kid and have them live the life that they're meant to live, not the life that we think they should live.
And the reason why you got into this particular business per se is because you are living it day in and day out. You in your own family. That's probably the passion why you got started, or was it something else? I think that was it.
It started out with my own struggles with my own mental health when I got out of the military. And I was fine in when I got out of the army. I had my own anxiety issues. And then my kids came along and were diagnosed with autism. And I didn't know what it was. And I didn't like how they were told that they have to be like this and do things this way and how you have to go against your instincts to be able to adapt to society. When we live in a world since the 80s being told that you're supposed to accept and honor people for who they are, but yet if you have a label in our society, it's taught not they're not to be accepted, they're supposed to change. And then finding out a couple years later, I am actually neurodiverse as well. So
Excellent. I was actually just putting some comments in the bottom layer so you could see that it says meet Mary Stanley from Minnesota, which you just did briefly. And I threw upon her this impromptu session for us to talk about the ABCs of the Scholar.network. And I wanted you guys to hear a little snippet of what Mary is doing in the world to help save the day for her customers and herself and her family. If you connect with her, we'll at the end here let you find out how you could connect back with her, or you could comment under this video on LinkedIn or YouTube where you're listening to this. You could find me on my Linktree account for Paul Finkelstein, or go through Skyler. So, Mary, let's talk about, or I should say, maybe a snippet about me as well. I love to run marathons, as you could tell from this picture here. Going across the Seattle Marathon for the first time. It was the only marathon I ever did outside of Florida. I think I did 5 or 6 of them in the Florida area and half marathons, and I still could eke out a good 5 or 6 miles. So I have the running bug still. If anybody wants to get into running, definitely open to chats with that. But for a living, I run a group called OMG Biz Cafe on the Skyler Network and other networks and YouTube, and bring businesses together because my market really is B2B in the financial field. But I always love to bring small business together and how they can network and run tons of meetings at 10 o'clock, Monday through Friday, Eastern time, or Saturdays at 8 o'clock for those crazy enough to lose a couple of sleep on a Saturday morning, which is a little nutty. But at the same time, if you're dedicated, you have a passion, you have a dream, you do whatever it takes. I know my mom always taught me that success is a 9 to 5. Um, So that's a little snippet about me, finance field, love to network, run networking events. But today's topic is a gift to Ron Sasson. Goes out to him, the CEO and founder of the Skyler.network. Ron, I hope your ears are ringing. We're going to talk about the ABCs of the Skyler.network and how people can get up and running fast. Because people go to Skyler Network and they say, why do I need Skyler Network? I already have Facebook. I already have LinkedIn. I already have Alignable. What the heck is Skyler Network? Why do I need that? And you can see the scrolling board. We're going to talk about A, B, and C, profile, community, and Skyler verse. But before we get into that, when you got on, how long have you been on the Skyler.network, Mary Stanley? And tell us your opinion, thoughts so far.
So I haven't been on it fairly recently, only because I hate social media. So it was like, when I first thought about it, it was the social media platform. And I knew about it since the summer. And when I really sat down and looked at it, it is so much more. And what it is, it's actually a business community, a business profile. It's an all in one how you run your business, from your calendar to your CRM system to your community, your classroom, everything you need. Also, it's HIPAA compliant. That was my first issue with that, was making sure, because what I do, I have to be HIPAA compliant with a social media bonus. And the best part is that instead of having to check 5 different things, your email, your calendar, to, your different social media profiles, you can do it all in one. So when you create a post, you can post it from Skylar to Facebook, X, and all those at once. Just makes it more practical for busy people who don't need, one, cost efficiency. You're not paying for 5 different systems, but it's all in one place.
Now, you said you don't like social media, you hate social media, but could we find you on your favorite social media, and where would that be?
I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, and you just search my name. I'm on
Okay.
Alignable. I'm on them all, but yeah.
Are you on LinkedIn? Because there's a lot of Mary Stanley is a common name, so I couldn't determine which one's you there.
I am, but I don't use it enough. I need to get back into using LinkedIn.
If I could force you to find Paul Finkelstein on LinkedIn and then this video that's there live
I will
right
be
now,
there.
people could see, so you could comment. And all right, so good. So let's dive in and help people get up to speed on Skyler.network versus it's not Skyler.com, it's Skyler.network. And the ABCs to get up and running fast. What is the A is profile, but why is it so important to do the A? Of course, it's the first letter of the alphabet, and you can't do B and C without A, B, C. So to do, yeah, everybody knows the alphabet. So A is profile, but somebody just told me recently, I think it was Ricky McDonald in West Palm Beach, and he put a comment on Skyler.network on OMG Biz Cafe community. And he said, my wife set up a profile, she set up a community, but I can't get her verified. And right away I thought, maybe she doesn't have a picture on there, because a lot of these networks like Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable, they don't necessarily verify you. It just goes pictureless. And for those people that have pictureless profiles, are you gravitated to those people? You barely know a stranger. Your parents told you don't talk to strangers when you're little, and now you're going to a profile that there's no picture. So I think Skyler built into it that in order to be verified, you got to set up your profile. So that's the ABC. So tell us about, how do you set up your profile on Skyler? Was it easy for you?
So the first thing is, it was it was except for the tags. So the first
The
part is
what?
your picture. Your tags for your stuff on the end.
The tags.
Because I do so much, it's hard for me to figure out which tags to use, which is where AI comes in play. But your picture is so important, because, like, I personally will not check your profile out if you don't have a picture on it, or if it's not a real picture, because so many people are using AI to create avatars or whatever. If you're not serious about what you do, you're not going to put yourself out there. And that's where I truly believe, your profile picture is important, in the sense, like, I'll split mine out between me and my kids, things like that, because that's what I do. But you're putting yourself out there. You're the face of your business, and you're face of your community, of who you are. and that's the first step. And then after that, it's breaking it down to what do you do, who you are, not only as a business but also as a person, and kind of putting that twist together with both of them.
There's different sections of the profile too. So you put up the picture, you put up, you mentioned the tags, and then there's experience, maybe education, maybe some additional information. But that about section there,
Is
if you don't
broken down even more,
if you
which is
don't
what I
fill out those whole
absolutely love.
sections, right? And if you don't fill out those whole sections, then your profile can't be verified. And if it's not verified, then it makes it hard to build your community.
With like Facebook, for instance, you have an about you page, big chunk that you have to figure out how to fill your whole thing in there for your business. Where in Skylar, it's broken down into pieces. So it's about you as a person, it's about your business, it's about who you talk to. So it's all, you don't have to sit there and figure out how to squish everything into one little spot.
Oh, she stopped. She made a pause while I was typing. We were talking about A is your profile, as I put up on the screen there, in the ABCs of how to get up and running really fast. Because if you want to go slow like a sloth, you could skip the profile, but you really can't skip the profile because then it doesn't make sense to go to community and
If
Skylar.
anything, you skip your Skylar verse first. And your profile should be the first thing that comes out there because you can't connect. People aren't going to connect with you. People aren't going to find you until your profile's done. When you look at a business, the first thing people see is your profile. And
Mhm.
in this day and age, there's so many organizations, businesses out there that don't have websites anymore. Their social media profile is their website, which is another awesome piece about the Skylar network is that you can build your website right into that platform,
Mhm.
right off your profile.
So to get verified, fill out your profile, correct?
Correct. Every piece.
Okay. And then the next step to get up and running real fast on the Skylar network is B, the ABC, to get up and running fast on Skylar.network is your community. Now, community is probably a four-letter word or a good word, but why would you want to develop a community on the Skylar network versus, I mean, before in the past, I think they had Yahoo groups and you could have a group. But it was just a way that you could email out people in your organization and keep in touch. But having a community on Scour is so much more because you could have your own social media posts, which you hate, but you could have your own post. You could have Spotify ebbed post. You could have YouTube ebb post in your community so that you don't have to put your posts on other social media, Facebook, LinkedIn, Alignable, and you could use those for networking and leverage. So you could make those other communities work for you instead of you work for them. So tell us what community means to you and how to set up your community and why do that on Skylar.network. Mary.
So what I did is I took all my communities from my other social media profiles and just brought them over. Literally copied everything and just brought everybody into that area. And
How did
so
you bring
instead of
them over? Like, did you use an invitation link? I think it's invite only.
I did an invitation link, and the big thing about your community is that's your place to shine. That's the place to give what to have your like networking meetings or your webinars that you can do free or paid on the site. But it's a place for people to be able to meet you one on one, talk to you, understand you, and help nurture. You can run your business off your community basically. And it makes it so much easier to have it in one place and then take those posts that you create on your community and just, hit the button and put it on your Facebook, put it on your LinkedIn, put it on your X instead of having the other way around.
The
And
button from Skylar, because when you
oh,
share over to LinkedIn, it's a link that has your content on a blog formatted like page, but goes back to your community. So you're
yep,
using both, but you have your business where you could open your doors to the public. Did
exactly. And the nice thing is on Skylarverse, you can create your blogs on there. You can create,
oh,
newsletters on there,
she had to
all
go
from that
mention the word
community.
Skylarverse, which is the C of ABC, getting up and running on Skylar. So, what is Skylarverse?
So Skylarverse is a few different things. So for starters, it is your Zoom room or your Google Meet room. And you create it however you want, your background however you want. Like for instance, because I work with neurodiverse individuals and their families, I have a great ocean scene, water scene with logs to keep it zen. The other cool part about it is that you have your main room and you can branch into different one-on-ones or different events or different things in there. It's a place where you could actually sit down, have the screen open, and have a meet and greet day. Where, you know what, as you're working on your computer, people want to hop in and say hi, or you want, it's there available. And it's all part of the Skylar Network. It's not something you have to do separate. You can also, do your meetings off of that. And the best part is with the built-in CRM system, you can and calendar system. So no longer do you have to have Calendarly or MailChimp or whatever to do it. You can do it all from there. So you can control and reminders of meetings or even social media. Like part of the reason I hated social media so much was because you get overwhelmed with a bunch of stuff and you forget to nurture different people. Here in Skylarverse or in Skylar Network, you can do that and make sure, I haven't heard from this person in so many days. Let's go send them a message or, respond to something and get them back into figuring out what's going on.
I was just typing in the chat one of our last things I'm going to mention so we could follow up for those people that are not on Skylar yet is when you go to Skyler.network and register your profile, at the top of it, type in OMG, which doesn't stand for what you think it stands for. It stands for online, offline, meet and greet. And we'll have in-person events and online events powered by Skylar, and register, verify, and network. So with that in mind, since I did bring this upon you last minute, Mary, we're at the 17-minute mark. Maybe give us your last thoughts for today on Scholar.network or maybe how people could reach out to you to learn more about your neurodiversity, the term you
You're
use.
getting it. You're getting it. So the one thing I want to add is that with Skylarverse, we are creating the first neurodiversity environment. It's a social media platform. We're having creating a special group area for neurodiverse individuals based on your needs. And, a lot of social media platforms, you get mixed into a lot of people telling you, we can do this to fix you, or we can do this to fix this. Where this is a place for you to have that safe environment where people just understand you, accept you, and work with you.
Excellent. Thank you so much for that. Do you want people to reach out by email or phone number or website?
You can find me on any social media by just typing in Mary Stanley. Otherwise, I will give Paul my number and it'll be in the chat.
Sure. Do you want me to put it in the bottom? Go ahead if you want to.
Yep. 507
507
338
338
3725.
3725. Mary Stanley. For a good time call. No, just kidding. Let's see. Mary Stanley. There's her number on the screen there, 507 338 3725. If you want to connect to her and to connect to me as well, I'll just put up over here Linktree/Paul Finkelstein. Linktree/Paul Finkelstein. It took me a while to figure out that the dot is before the two E's to remember Linktree. And we'll rerun all kinds of events at the OMG Biz Cafe powered by Skylar. And we're on 11 different platforms, so you could always find us. LinkedIn and YouTube are our favorite where this is streaming. Look forward to keeping in touch. I'm late to another meeting that started at 10 o'clock. Hopefully they don't yell at me. But that being said, we always provide value wherever we go to help people, whether it's in the neurodivergent areas that you specialize in, Mary, or myself in the financial areas. If you know people that don't have a retirement plan at work, think of me, Mary, or anybody else listening. And comment what you thought about our video, what you liked or what you learned in our video if you're listening on LinkedIn or YouTube. Thanks, Mary, for
Breathe.
stick around as I hit the end streaming button, and have a fantastic weekend. And